Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I got this 2006 Honda Civic Si, and it's in for a timing chain replacement. There's going to be a quick clip to show you the sound of why we're doing the timing chain, or to be more precise, the timing tensioner is what gave out on it. And once you hear the car start and we'll rev it up, you'll hear the chain start flapping because the tensioner is not putting tension on the guide. As you can hear it, as soon as I rev it and let go of the gas, you'll start hearing the noises from the engine.
And yeah, so now I started taking off some of the plastic trims because when I take the valve cover, there's not enough clearance for you to take it off because it will start hitting the metal bracket that's on top. Once I pull the plastic trim, so that metal bracket there has to get removed, and then there'll be enough clearance for you to remove the valve cover. So since that's off now, as you can see, it gives us a lot more space to work on top of the valve cover. Take off the RBC cover, since that will give you more clearance, or lets you remove the valve cover without any problems. And then you'll see there's two 10mm bolts in the middle where the ignition cover is for the coil packs. Take those out, and once we take the coil pack cover off, there will be 4 coil packs since it's a 4-cylinder. Let's start taking those are also 10mm bolts, and then from there you'll see there's a little 10mm bolt on the valve cover itself. There should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in total. Those got to come off as well, and then we'll be able to take the valve cover off. And then from there should be another 2 10mm bolts on the right side of the valve cover that holds the purge valve bracket, and there's 2 10mm that we got to take off. timing. And as you can see, there's two 10mm bolts, no, 12mm bolts for one of the top timing chain guide. You gotta take that off, and then after that you'll see that there's a wrench mark where you can put a wrench and move the cam itself. And just to show you the amount of slack there is because of the tensioner failing, since it's not, like I mentioned, it's not putting tension on the guide, and it's letting that chain start flapping up and down. So as you can see now, the amount of slack that you have doesn't seem a lot, but when the engine's rotating super fast, that little slack will make a big difference. And if that was not caught earlier on, it would have caused damage to the engine and could have bent the valve if the chain skipped enough teeth. Now we gotta take all the spark plugs off so we can make sure that the valves are in the correct position, and we wanna make sure we have cylinder 1 at top dead center, meaning the piston is going to be on the highest point. And once you take the chain off, the phasers or the camshaft will not spin on you and bend valves. Or the other thing is, when you put your wrench on to move your cams, you don't spin it and bend the valves. Or else, if you have the cylinder at the bottom dead center or in the middle, and you go to spin the camshaft to align it where it's supposed to adjust it so the marks line up, those valves will hit the piston and bend them. So I just used the ratchet. Obviously I broke them loose already and used the electric ratchet to completely get them loose. Obviously I don't recommend this if you're not comfortable with the machine, so make sure you use a ratchet just to be safe. And once we tighten the spark plugs, obviously use a hand ratchet, not use the electric ratchet. So after I got all the plugs out, spark plugs, I got my boy to go at the crankshaft, put a 19mm socket there with an extension and a ratchet or a wrench, whatever it is. But basically you're gonna spin the crankshaft so we can get the cylinder 1 at top dead center in the position. And there's a couple ways of doing it. Obviously I just look at the piston, and as soon as I saw it completely up top and then starts to, or just before it starts dropping down, that's how I know it's at top dead center. The other way you could do it is simply just bring a long screwdriver and keep spinning the crankshaft until you see the screwdriver at cylinder number 1, which is closest to the phasers, go the highest. And then from there you'll know that cylinder 1 is at top dead center. So once I got that confirmed and aligned, we're going to be moving towards the left side of the vehicle to get the tensioner off, the mounts, and so forth. I adjusted the camera so you guys are able to get a better view of what I'm doing. But essentially, all that you see there is basically going to be gone. So the bottom mount and that bracket that I'm currently taking off will have to come off. And as you can see, there was another mount on top of that bracket that I had already taken out before. I guess I just forgot to switch the angles. And here's the other thing, guys, you gotta be careful is when you're taking that nut off, because that bracket holds up the engine onto the mount. As you can see, it started dropping. So before you take that off, just slide a jack underneath the engine oil pan or anywhere underneath it, just to jack it up a little bit, so you can support the engine. As you can see, once I started jacking it a couple times, you can see that it went up. So that's very important, or else the engine will kind of drop, not all the way out, but like cause some strain on the mounts. You don't want that. Just slightly put some support it underneath, and once I take the nut off, that whole bracket comes off, and that's one step closer to giving us enough space to work on the timing cover, to take that off as well. So as you are taking the bracket off, you'll see that there's a ground strap in the back there. It's a 10mm bolt. Make sure you take that off, so you don't damage it or bend it, because they can break very easily. Now the other thing that we got to take off is the belt, and in order for you to take the belt off, you got to put a wrench on the tensioner for the Serpentine belt. Once you put some, you got to find out which way, so you got to pull it backwards towards the front of the car. I use a technique of just double wrenching it. You don't really have enough space to put a ratchet with a socket. It just doesn't give you enough leverage to push it back, and as you can see, it's kind of tight between the tensioner and the ABS pump. But you can use a wrench that's specially made for removing the Serpentine belt. It's just basically the same thing, but it's just a long wrench. Obviously, I didn't have mine with me at the time, so I just double wrenched it and took it off. But make sure as you're taking it out, it's very flimsy, so be careful that it doesn't slip, and it could really hurt you.
idler pulley was removed. You can see that there's another bracket that has to be removed as well. It goes from the body to the mount, and I believe that one was a 12mm bolt. It's kind of tricky because there's two there and there's one on the body of the car, so I'll take those off. And then there's going to be two 17mm bolts for the black mount, and the whole thing will just come completely out.
after we got that mount off, you can see that there's a lot more space to work with. And there was that other bracket that I'm just pulling off now that we had to take off. I believe it was 13 mil bolts, and it was 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see the fourth one was all the way in the back. I had to use a wrench and kind of keep spinning it, and then I was able to unfasten it with my hand. But I did have to jack up the engine a little bit to give me a little more clearance for the bolt to pop out of, because it would hit the body of the car, and once you jack it up a little bit, it gives you enough clearance for you to pull the bolt out. So now that's out of the way, and now essentially what we're doing is we're going to be taking the timing cover off, and it's just a bunch of 10 mil bolts. But there was also, as you can see, there's a coolant hose that I was moving on the back, and that was just the 8 mil bolt on the timing cover itself. And just take that off and make sure you put a pan or something to catch the coolant that's going to be leaking out underneath it, because there will be quite a bit of coolant leaking out. And then once I took that off, now you're going to basically watch me take all the 10 mil bolts around the timing cover. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's one right in the middle where that VVT solenoid is. Take that 1 10 mil bolt to take that solenoid out, and then there's another 10 mil there in the middle for the timing cover itself. And then there will be, you'll put your hand on the side of the timing cover on the edges, and you will feel the 10 mil bolts, and you'll also be able to see them. And then there also is going to be 3 10 mil bolts underneath where the oil pan is, and that's holding kind of the bottom of the timing cover. Once we get all that off, then we'll be able to get more space to work on the timing chain, tensioner, and the guides. And then finally, when you get all those 10 mil bolts, there will be enough space for you to pull the cover off. You will have to fish it out, so just kind of be careful with that. Sorry about the angle, the way it switched all over. I couldn't try to give you guys a good view, but that's what it's going to look like once the cover is off. And as you can see, the chain versus where the marking on the phaser is and the sprocket is completely off, but I'm going to explain about that later. But you can see that main on the other RBC phaser where that arrow is, it's supposed to be more to the right, matching the mark that's on the cylinder head, which you will be able to see later on.
And that's it, boys. We reached the end of the video. I will have to order some more parts, so I will have to make a part 2. See you guys later.